amigos y las amigas que están sufriendo este confinamiento, a ver si les gusta este poema, que se llama Género. Hay días en que me despierto muy hombre y te miro con deseos de posesión. Y no me importa si te resistes, me excita mucho más. Y te haría un hijo como cumbres borrascosas, y después te abandonaría ufano, silbando fuerte, y mi ego se hincharía como el pecho de un urogallo macho, presumiendo de mi fuerza y de mi poder. Y no escucharía tus quejas ni demandas, soberbio, ebrio de mí mismo, como Narciso mirándose en el espejo. Pero hay días en que me despierto muy mujer y te miro dormir ensimismada y te contemplo como una reliquia antigua de gran valor, como un cántaro romano en el fondo del océano, y te acaricio suavemente, tan suavemente que no lo sientes. Ay de ti que duermes navegando. Y a tu lado espero con deseo y con ternura que despiertes, bella y ronroneante como una gata persa.
Poems by Cristina Peri Rossi, translated by Sophie Cabot Black and Maria Negroni. We belong to different categories. On the surface, semen, colds, varicosis, the pestilent plague, and a captain. Underneath, fish fall apart in the sea. On top, evasive butterflies, white sails to be recorded, like young girls parading with no one to look at. It was not our fault we were born into times of misery, times of setting out to sea and navigating, moving off in disturbances, in ships running from war, from tyrants, toward the pendulum, toward the swaying sea. He who carried the letter took refuge first. Wet letter, it was daybreak. From somewhere, we saw the sea coming. My wish is that, in case of shipwreck, this pilgrim be forgotten, this love ignored. Rose of the winds, compass, it was a time of difficult maneuvers. Some ran away by water, others through jungle and beyond. Auto da fe. With unmerciful voices, with Bacchic choir and alleluias, with destroyed palaces whose magnificent ruin we admire, with blank spaces where apparent sunken ships glide, with a court of tarot princesses and cardboard swords for the evening games, with the strength of the Old Testament where apocalyptic sins are always more intense than the mediocre infractions of the present, with the faith-drunk heresies of the church's rebel sons, with night fantasies filled with premonition, with the omens of dreams and of clover's leaves, with the dubious look of ocelots in heat, with this subjection to desire called, moreover, altruism, with no simplicity. I love you.
Cocina. Una cocina puede ser el mundo, un desierto, un lugar para llorar. Estábamos ahí, dos madres conversando en voz muy baja, como si hubiera niños durmiendo en las alcobas, pero no había nadie, solo la resonancia del silencio donde alguna vez hubo música trepando las paredes. Buscábamos palabras, bebíamos el té mirando el pozo amargo del pasado, dos madres sobre el puente que las une, sosteniendo el vacío con sus manos.
The Kingdom of This World by Piedad Bonnett. I am speaking of the young woman whose face is disfigured by fire and whose breasts are firm and sweet like a pair of windows full of light. Of the blind boy whose mother describes colors for him by making up words. Of the lucky hare's foot that no one ever kisses. Of hands that never found out how a light rain is warm like the neck of a bird. Of the fool who stares at the coffin where his father will lie. I am speaking of God, perfect like a circle, and just, all-powerful, wise.
Soñé anoche que escribía y era mi consuelo este cuaderno. No podía dormir por continuarlo sin saber lo que anotaba. ¿Qué eras para mí entonces, poesía? No lo recordaba ni en el sueño, siempre en la punta de la lengua. Bosque adentro soñaba que era un ciervo o un caballo y corría por buscar respuestas. En el sueño encontraba el cuaderno y empezaba con las primeras letras, A, E, I.
Hello, my name is Marie Howe, and it is my honor to read a poem by Yolanda, Pantin. It's translated by Rowena Hill, and the poem is called Deja Vu. I dreamed last night that I was writing, and this notebook was my consolation. I couldn't sleep for going on with it, without knowing what I was recording. What were you for me then, poetry? I couldn't remember it, even in the dream, always on the tip of my tongue. Deep in the wood, I dreamed I was a stag or a horse and galloped, looking for answers. In the dream, I found a notebook, and it began with the first letters, A, E, I.
Quo vadis, de Carmen Boullosa, que soy yo. ¿Dónde caíste, patria insomne? Como el astro del cuento, como la ebria que se estrella contra un poste de luz. Tu masa más densa, más austera, más sólida, más real, puede comprimirse y caber en un dedal o en el bordado de aquella blusa. De que estés no hay duda, pero ¿a dónde vas? Entre los humos de una guerra entre todos en la que nadie sino mercenarios participa, las balas que vuelan no tienen convicciones, son de paga federal, estatal o de este capo o del otro, etc. Ráfagas a sueldo, de no se escapas, patria en fuga. Tu aliento de miel, de ráfagas a sueldo, tu aliento de ajo y chocolate y chiles diversos, tu aliento a piedra de moler, molcajete y ajo y miel y chiles y pimienta y canela, tu aliento a piedra del sacrificio, la sangre, al corazón que aún palpita.
I'm Shara McCallum. I'm going to be reading the English translations of two poems by the Mexican poet Carmen Boullosa. They're both from the anthology, The Invisible Borders of Time, 5 female Latin American poets. The anthology was edited by Nidia Hernández and published by Aerosmith Press. The first is the poem I translated, and it is untitled. Your body pulsing on its own is the wind in my ears, clear and cool, pure sound of copper and breath. You are your lips humid with lime. You are your eyes covered with mist. You are your delicate hand encircling the dough. Because the sea nests in you, you are its guide. And with you, the clumsiest root drinks its spine. Because you are the wind, and you are also the virgin mouth that hides great lengths. The second poem by Boullosa was translated into English by Catherine Hammond, and it begins with a title that's Latin, Quo vadis, meaning whither thou goest. How far have you fallen, sleepless motherland, as the star in the story, as the drunk who crashes into the light pole? Your mass, denser, more austere, stronger, more real, can compress itself to fit inside a thimble or onto the border of that blouse. Where you came from, there is no doubt. But where are you going? In the smoke of a war between everyone, in which no one participates except mercenaries. Flying bullets have no allegiance. They are on the federal payroll or state or this boss or the other, etc. Rapid fire salaries. You escape us, mother in flight. Your breath from honey to machine gun bursts for hire. Your breath of garlic and chocolate and diverse chiles. Your breath toward the grinding stone, molcajete and garlic and honey and chile and pepper and cinnamon. Your breath toward the sacrificial stone, to blood, to the heart still beating alive. Those were two poems, the English translations of two poems by Carmen Boullosa, both taken from The Invisible Borders of Time, an anthology featuring the work of 5 female Latin American poets, edited by Nidia Hernández and published by Aerosmith Press.
De mi libro Continuidad de los cuadros, voy a leer el poema Podrán contarlo, así que pasen 76 años. La hojarasca del mar revolviéndose en la arena, y entonces tú eras viento. Yo recuerdo que pasabas, solo que pasabas. La casa flotando entre las islas, tus ojos arrastrados a babor no se vuelven. En el fondo del vaso, el pescado azul muerto de pena. El sol recién nacido creciendo largo por la playa, nosotros agachados recogiendo rescoldos del cometa. Los perros que nos siguieron, si lo recuerdan, podrán contarlo.
Lines. The way the tiger unravels its soft lines when it leaps, its brilliant lines where I write, because I love you, love, it's that I love you. And the trees that sprout in its path, their long lines elongating on either side, waiting for it to stand between them. That thing you say in slow dictation, because I love you, love, it's that I love you. And the words take flight above the lines of the sea. Ah, those brave lines that break on the beach and reorder themselves as they fall along cables of light, because I love you, along crosswalks, in the roof beams, love, of a neighbor's eyes, in the intentional rigidities of bridges and saints, on the edge of a doorway, it's that I love you. And everything is sufficiently lineated or nothing is sufficiently lineated. In the rising staircase, on the edges of a bed, in the length of 2 lips, because you are saying it to me, love. I am saying it to you.